Welcome to Miracle Network's Wednesday meditation. I'm so glad we're all here together. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button below to receive updates and notifications. Today we're joined by Keith Kavanagh, who will lead us in meditation. Then we have 20 minutes of silence. After that, we open it up for sharing. We end at 10:45. Over to you, Keith.
Thank you very much, Dan, and thank you for having me back amongst you this morning. This morning, I wanted to talk about true perception, the holy instant. And there is a way of seeing all things as they actually are without the mind categorizing, evaluating, naming, labeling, or narrating anything that is being perceived. It is perceiving without being enmeshed in a sea of concepts, words, and language. It is a seeing where no thoughts are interfering with the totality of perception, and it reveals what the Course calls the real world. Now, this requires mind training, and this is the purpose of the workbook and indeed our forgiveness practice. What I wanted to talk about today was how this practice and this attainment is much, much easier than the mind would have us believe. So the Course would say this in chapter 18, section 4, paragraph 7. It is this that makes the holy instant so easy and so natural. You make it difficult because you insist there must be more that you need to do. You find it difficult to accept the idea that you need give so little to receive so much. And it is very hard for you to realize it is not personally insulting that your contribution and the Holy Spirit's are so extremely disproportionate. You are still convinced that your understanding is a powerful contribution to the truth and makes it what it is. Yet we have emphasized that you need understand nothing. Salvation is easy just because it asks nothing you cannot give right now. So today together, I wanted us to practice and hone what is easy, to get out of the way of the holy instant. And the Course is telling us that what's getting in the way is us wanting to understand it, categorize it, learn it, seek it, grasp at it, push away what we don't think is it. That's what's getting in the way. And to our rescue, the Course teaches us forgiveness. And of forgiveness, it says this. And this is from the introduction to part 2 of the workbook. Forgiveness is still, and it quietly does nothing. It offends no aspect of reality, nor does it seek to twist it to appearances it likes. It merely looks and waits and judges not. He who would not forgive must judge, for he must justify his failure to forgive. But he who would forgive himself must learn to welcome truth exactly as it is. So, with forgiveness, we need to understand that it is still, it's quietly doing absolutely nothing. It's not trying to interfere with what is. It's not trying or seeking to twist any element of experience into something it prefers. It merely looks, waits, and doesn't judge what it's looking at. But we keep seeking and striving and pushing and pulling and I don't like this emotion and I want to get rid of that emotion and I want to have a different emotion and I shouldn't be thinking like this and I need to get rid of these thoughts and I need to change these thoughts and I need to put different thoughts in. So we keep forgetting that that's not forgiveness, that's judgment. Course tells us that the ego analyzes, but the Holy Spirit accepts. And so in our forgiveness practice, we're asked to learn acceptance, surrender. So what facilitates this true perception, the holy instant, the real world, is this ability to look without a story about what you're looking at, without conceptualization, labels, language, butchering everything up into good and bad and right and wrong and should and shouldn't. So lesson 248 says this: let me not be your critic, Lord, today and judge against you. Let me not attempt to interfere with your creation and distort it into sickly forms. Let me be willing to withdraw my wishes from its unity and thus to let it be as you created it. For thus will I be able to recognize my capital S self as you created me. So in this willingness to allow things to be as they already are, my capital S self becomes available to me. What I really am can begin to tell me of itself, but only in the letting things be. In love I was created, and in love I will remain forever. What can frighten me when I let all things be exactly as they are? Let not our sight be blasphemous today, nor let our ears attend to lying tongues. Only reality is free of pain, and only reality is free of loss. Only reality is wholly safe, and it is only this we seek today. So, forgiveness is this ability to witness without a story about what you're witnessing. And by that process, something is unveiled in my mind that's not an ego presence. That's not a little I, a me, a body identity, but something much more expansive, unlimited, unbounded, and indivisible. And the mechanism of this recognition is this looking without judgment. Now, where everyone gets tripped up with this is that they think they cannot have judgmental thoughts in their mind. Okay? So if you start battling your mind, you're going to be doing that until Judgment Day. You will be locked in an eternal struggle between good and bad, right and wrong, good and evil. You will never win that fight. So the good news is that you don't have to do anything with what the mind is doing. This is not you. Lesson 4 says these thoughts do not mean anything. Lesson 52 says, I have no private thoughts, but it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can they mean? They do not exist, and they mean nothing. So there is the appearance of thoughts. So what? What does that have to do with you? They're not yours. They are appearances. You are never choosing your next thought. They happen. They happen in what you are. You are the space in which thoughts that no one is thinking arise all by themselves and dissolve all by themselves And all the while, they have no effect on what you are, in which they rise and fall. Because you have a split mind, a wrong mind, the personal one, the body identity, the separate self, the ego, see, which is the insane voice talking to itself in your mind. But within that manic, wild illusion, frantic and distraught, as the Course calls it, that mind fighting and talking to itself and hating everyone else, within that illusory thought world, it's happening within a greater reality. It's happening in a thoughtless world. It's happening in perfect peace. Peace that you already are. And the only mistake we make is that we misidentify with thoughts. Now, we're not asked to stop thoughts. We're not asked to go to war with thoughts. We're not asked to feel guilty about the thoughts because you're not doing them. So, what have they got to do with you? You're asked to learn what you are by not judging the judgmental thoughts. To begin to separate your identity out from the thought world into the Holy Spirit's world, so that you can begin to be taught, instead of by the teacher of specialness and differences, by the teacher of sameness, the teacher of peace. So, what I wanted to suggest in the meditation we're going to share with each other now is that we practice the two most important things for you to remember the truth of what you are, but not just what you are, because it's what everyone is. The ego is legion, but the Holy Spirit is one. What you are in the ego seems to be separate and different and special and individual. What you are in the Holy Spirit, that's what everyone is. And it's already here. So, the first thing I'd like you to do in the meditation is to notice over and over again that you're not doing thoughts. Thoughts are just happening. You're not picking them, you're not choosing them, they happen all by themselves. Once you look, that's immediately obvious. So it's crucial to see this for yourself, not just accept it as a concept, but see this for yourself that thoughts are just happening. There is no identity in them. There's no one doing them. They are something that arise and dissolve all by themselves. And the second thing, and this is the crucial thing I'd like us to work on today, is that we try to do nothing. During the meditation, thoughts will arise and dissolve. Feelings will arise and dissolve. Sensations will arise and dissolve. Sounds will arise and dissolve. Smells, maybe tastes, will arise and dissolve. And all of that changing is happening in something where there is complete and total changelessness, which is who you really are, which is your capital S self. Now, if you try and find this capital S self, seek it, grasp it, hold on to it, go looking for it, fight with your thoughts, you're going to get nowhere. It's way simpler than that. In order to have the truth come to tell you of yourself, all you have to do to know this right mind is stop trying to control and fix the wrong mind. So during the meditation, when thoughts inevitably come, again, just to notice each time, I didn't do that. That happened all by itself. And it's just a thought. But what if and say it this way, what would happen in this moment if I allowed all things to be exactly as they are? Don't try to let all things be exactly as they are. That's a doing. Forgiveness doesn't do. Okay? That will bring in effort and resistance. Instead, all I want you to do is when thoughts and sensations and emotions come, that you simply ask yourself the question, what would happen in this very moment if I allowed all of this to be exactly as it is? And let something non-verbal, non-conceptual, tell you of itself in the background. Over and over again, when the objects come, what would happen in this moment if I allowed all this to be exactly as it is? And allow a piece to come all by itself into your mind. This piece is always revealed when you stop fighting with experience, when you allow all things to be exactly as they are, when we forgive. So the lovely Teresa will ring her bell and we'll meditate together.
Open your eyes and come back into the room. We have 9 minutes left for sharing your questions and comments. If you'd like to speak, raise your hand, or you could use um, the electronic hand at the bottom of the screen, and I'll invite you to take yourself off mute. Who'd like to share? Linda.
Yes. Thank you, Keith, for that. That was just what I needed. Just what I needed. What I found, I started off silently, just watching, and then thoughts did come in. And so I said, just let all things be exactly as they are. And was that what I was supposed to be doing?
Yeah, it's perfect. Um, see, A Course in Miracles, it gives us this lovely quote from lesson 109. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and of what God is, all concepts you've learned about the world, all images you hold about yourself. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false, or good or bad, of every thought it judges worthy, and all the ideas of which it is ashamed. Hold on to nothing. Do not bring with you one thought the past has taught, nor one belief you ever learned before from anything. Forget this world, forget this course, and come with wholly empty hands unto your God. And anyone who has ever tried to let their thoughts go, or battle their thoughts, or push them down, or push them away in order to know this, knows it's a fool's game. It doesn't work.
It
So
did, it did
it
feel
turns,
very, well, there was nothing else there.
yes, beautiful. So it turns out that this piece the course is talking about, you don't get there by seeking after it and trying to control thoughts. See, it won't work. See, it turns out it's much simpler. You get there by not judging anything thoughts are doing,
Yes.
by not judging any of the sensations, the thoughts, the feelings. It turns out forgiveness really does give me everything I want. It delivers me the peace of God. I have to fight nothing. I need do nothing. All I have to do is not fight with experience. And the peace of God reveals itself all by itself in that forgiveness, in that allowing. What can frighten me when I allow all things to be exactly as they are? Nothing. Because something is here that is untouchable, indivisible, already peaceful, already whole and complete. And it's revealed when I stop doing, seeking, fighting, pushing, pulling, changing, trying to do it for myself. It turns out all I have to do is forgive all experience, no matter what it is. So the beauty of this is that I can do a meditation, and maybe in this meditation, the mind is going to be really busy. And in the next meditation, the mind is going to be quiet. And in the next meditation, some anger I haven't felt sufficiently in the past is going to come up to get transmuted. And in another meditation, some grief is going to emerge, and there'll be tears in the meditation. And I can't do anything wrong if I'm allowing all that to be exactly as it is. All I have to do is nothing in the midst of the turmoil. The other way is remaining quiet in the midst of the turmoil. All I have to do is remain quiet no matter what's happening. And this whole process takes care of itself. The peace comes in the allowing, and it starts removing obstacles to the awareness of love's presence in my mind. I need do nothing except not interfere by judging anything. So
Yes.
thanks, Linda. Does that make sense?
It it perfectly does. I've got
Brilliant.
a really big problem at the moment with one of my sons,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to work out the best thing to do, and I'm asking Holy Spirit for guidance. What shall I do? What shall I do? And I could see all this coming up.
Yeah.
And I need do nothing.
No. So
Um,
what if I allowed this to be
yes,
exactly as
allow.
it
I
is?
just
Yeah.
see it and allow it.
Yeah.
And I just need to observe and watch it and accept.
Yes. And with the peace that comes, there is an opening for the intelligence of spirit to move you in a different direction, to maybe suggest something more creative, not from the ego, you see. So that's the beauty of this, allowing the peace to come by itself by not interfering with anything. There's this access that's available to guidance, intuition.
You hug.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Virtual hug.
Who'd like to share? Evelyn.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Keith. Yes, gosh, that's so helpful. I hear what Linda says. And I can see, I feel I can see my problem is I want to control.
Yes.
And I think that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I can see now that it really is so unhelpful. And
Yes.
I'll never be off the hook.
Yes. But the thing is now, you don't want to try and control your need to control. What you want to do is bring that need to control to the peace of the Holy Spirit, which is already in your mind.
Yeah.
So we're going to encounter resistance. We're going to encounter sort of control impulses. And all you have to do is not resist the resistance, not control the need to control. So
Yes.
when this need to control comes up, don't say to yourself, oh, I have to allow this to be what it is, because that's control, right?
Yes.
Only ask yourself the question, because that counters all the resistance. Only ask yourself a question. There's a need to control here, but what would happen in this moment if I allowed it to be exactly as it is?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
something is here from outside the mind, outside the controlling mind. And that's all you want to do is gain access to your right mind by not fighting or judging your wrong mind, not trying to fix it or do something with it. The minute you witness your wrong mind without an agenda, without resistance, without judgment, without labeling it good or bad or right or wrong, without trying to fix it, you just allow all things to be exactly as they are. There's something here from beyond the world. The
Yes.
minute you try to understand it with your mind, it's
Yes.
veiled again. But
Yes.
when it comes and you don't try to understand it, it's the space in which everything is arising and dissolving. It's not
Yeah.
even an experience. It's what all experience is happening in. And it's the right mind. And all I have to do is not do, not fight, not resist, not fix, not change, allow. This comes. And when it does, all I have to do is not try and understand it with thoughts.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because you can
Yes.
only be the right mind, but you can't think about it, or you're back in the wrong mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Gosh, that's very helpful. Thank you. Thank you very
Oh, thank
much
you, Evelyn.
indeed, Kate. Thank you.
Okay, we've come to the end of our time together. Thank you all for being here and joining with us. And thank you, Keith. That was wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Education is great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.